I see your mouth in the corners of my bedroom skirting board, your words carved across the walls like the sour milk border follows its way along like railway tracks. That's how the attraction always worked with us, like rust flakes and splinters its way across weathered hands. You touched me and I started flaking, my silhouette softened by pigments of peronone ringing around me like a sordid halo. In my wake, I left behind me memories and metallic dust. I have never been good at taking things slow. You look at me with wide eyes and soft cheeks, but with a stare that tells me you knew. You always knew that I was stating the obvious and that things were always complicated. Maybe I'm notorious, an absolute prodigy at unbalancing myself. I've always been a bit clumsy. Like a spring tumbles its way over watercress and pebbles, so too does the inundation of infatuation. It starts in my hands and bubbles its way across my chest. It cradles me and comforts me, simmering gently until either my lungs grow smaller or its grip moves from soothing to strangulate. I consider if that's really your mouth, if you still exist somewhere outside of my own imagination. I wonder if the border was always sour milk and I've only just noticed the tang, or if maybe it had always been this way. Maybe it had always been this way, and I too stubborn to admit it. I tell you I like you. I want to tell you that I almost love you, but I'm not sure what the almost means. I've not been myself lately. I think you know that feeling all too well. In my head, I've told you I love you so many times, but every time the words sit heavy in my mouth like cemetery gravel. And I'm not soft enough to be crumpled up like paper again. You stare fervently into my eye sockets like you're searching for answers I have no idea how to give you. Like maybe I'm some kind of answer to a question you haven't quite formulated yet. You don't understand why I would like you because you don't like yourself. I swallow the gravel, ignoring my bleeding throat, and I say it. I really like you. Since the moment we met, and I wish you could see yourself how I see you. I always knew you were going to be something. A blessing or a curse, or maybe both at the same time, I still didn't know, but something important nonetheless. Your beautiful eyes gaze at me like you're not sure what to do with this information. I worry I've misread the situation. I tell you, forget I said anything. It's late, and we're both inebriated. Let's see what happens during daylight. When I'm alone, I think about how we see time differently. I don't want to waste a minute of it, no matter how infinite, how finite, but you're afraid. You don't like the prospect of a definite end before even beginning. Loss is something you're used to, yet at the same time, every departure hurts just as hard. And I get it, your reluctance to go through that again, especially when you know it's guaranteed. I reflect upon this alternate approach. I wonder if it saves less time lamenting later. I decide that I don't like getting emotionally roughed up, even less so when I invite it upon myself despite having reservations. That reservations are reminders that the all guns blazing approach will always make a statement, but not always one worth making. That reservations are the emotional manifestation of bruises left behind from wounds which oozed before. That I remind myself that self-inflicted pains can get just as infected as those inflicted upon you. I reflect on what we were and what we could have been. I open my eyes to the soft light of the morning and the taste of warm milk. I see your mouth in the corners of my bedroom skirting board, and I vow to take my time in future. Yeah.